Hello everybody and welcome back to Third Chair. More Pokemon Showdown here. And first I want to start off, last episode I said we'd be showcasing a new team, but I forgot I had a lot more battles with this team, so we still have another episode to go with my first team, which I still hope you guys enjoy watching, especially against some of these new interesting teams that I get to face. To start off with this battle, this is the second tournament I entered, an OU tournament of 64. This is my first opponent. Surprise! I'm not really sure why he named that team that, but his team is a Lopunny, Mega Lopunny. It's a pretty fast, strong type, can hit Ghost, can hit anything with a good return high jump kick, so I guess that's what it's got going for it. It's pretty speedy too. A Dragog, I don't know, it's an interesting poison type, I guess, to beat out fairies. It's not super good. I don't think against, like, a Ferrothorn will completely destroy it. He's got an Excadrill, his own Ferrothorn, Hippowdon, and Rotom Wash. So I sent out my Ferrothorn. I know that he'll probably bring out his Lopunny, so even though it's the only Pokemon that I really fear, it does check any of his other first moves. So if he sent out his Hippowdon, his Ferrothorn, or his Excadrill first to start, my Ferrothorn would be fine. So let's begin. I'll slow it down a little bit. I go for Protect. I'm expecting a high jump kick right off the bat, and because of Protect, boom, he lost 50%. First move goes to me. His high jump kick will not kill me, so I use that time to set the Stealth Rock. Granted, I take a lot of damage, but that's okay because he can't go for another one. If he goes for another high jump kick here, he's dead. So he goes for a Power Up Punch. A smart move. He's trying to get an extra little boost. But I'm not going to let that happen, so I go for 28. I have my 28% Ferrothorn right now, and I go Michael Fable, which can wall out this Lopunny pretty easily, as you can just see right there. Granted, a high jump kick will do 40-something%, especially with the attack boost. But he's apparently runs Frustration, does 70%, but I'll use this opportunity to take out his Lopunny. His Mega's gone, and my Ferrothorn, if I can get him in healthy, is going to have a very fun time with this team. So here comes his Dragog. I'm probably messing that up terribly. And this is the perfect opportunity. He's going to go for a poison move, but he actually goes for Toxic Spikes. I forgot it does like to run that. And it turns out he has Hidden Power Fire, but as you can see, it's not a very strong offensive Pokemon, so it didn't even do 25%. Assuming that was Hidden Power Fire, I didn't run the calc. I don't see why he would run any other Hidden Power. So I get a nice free Leech Seed, and he can't kill me with the Hidden Power again, so I'm going to predict the switch, go for a second Leech Seed. His Excadrill comes in, now I'm at 50% with my Ferrothorn. And his Excadrill 40. He's just like, you know what? No, I'm not messing with this guy. He does not want anything to do with my Ferrothorn, which could wall out the rest of his entire team, bar maybe some sort of weird Rotom shenanigans with Choice Scarf, but clearly he is not running that. So he forfeits, and I win my first round off the bat real quick and easy. So here's my second fight against Zerashi, and he's running a good mixed team, I gotta say. He's got a very, off the bat, I notice he has a core. And all teams run different cores, but his core is Venusaur, Cresselia, and Heatran. I'd like to say Azumarill just because it's, Water, Grass, Fire. But I think his Azumarill is looking more like an offensive Pokemon, maybe a Choice Band. So I don't think he's going to want to sub him in too often. So the only thing that I could fear on his team from starting off this battle is either his Conkeldurr or his Heatran if I send in my Ferrothorn. And I want the rocks up, or at least I want to force something to switch out. Cresselia is going to get walled to death by a Ferrothorn, unless it carries an odd fighting type, Hidden Power Fighting or Fire, which it won't. At least as far as I think. I don't think he actually does run it. I don't see why they would. But he sends out his Azumarill. First turn Azumarill. It's a little surprising. Turns out it has Superpower. I should have known, but, at this moment, he's going to take his most offensive Pokemon and pretty much, show me that he's going to be, right off the bat, using Superpower, so at least I know that, I gotta go for Protect next turn. So my Ferrothorn's okay at 38%. Like, it's kind of weird because he's pretty low. But I'll take in my Mega Metagross because it can take on a Mega Venusaur. And no matter what he does, I'll be able to be okay. But then it turns out he has Leech Seed. So now I'm a little bit more trouble because even though I do have Ice Punch, it's not super... It's super effective, but he has Thick Fat due to his Mega. So I'm just trying to hit him with Meteor Mash right now. And I was going to try and get him down a little bit of health, but he's just taking too much away. So I'm going to send in my Ferrothorn at this turn. I'm going to assume, because he has Giga Drain and Leech Seed, that he has a Poison-type move to help with coverage, and then HP Fire. But even with, like, he doesn't even want to, like, show me if he has HP Fire, or he might not even own it. So if he doesn't have HP Fire, Ferrothorn walls him out. So I go for the Stealth Rock, and then I switch into Michael Fable to take on this Conkeldurr, because Conkeldurr is not, has a tough time with Fable. Even though he knocks off my leftovers, I get a free setup into Calm Mind, which I will take, but I guess I will go for a Moon Blast first. I'm a little forgetful of this battle. I do apologize. It's been a while since I've watched, not watched, since I've had this battle. But he goes with Psyshock and does 21%, which is 5-hit KO. So that's not going to be a good Pokemon to keep in there. And I'm going to go for a Soft Boiled, and I'm at 100% with a 1 boost of Calm Mind against the Azumarill, but I don't want to sack Michael Fable yet. I'm expecting maybe like an Aqua Jet or a Waterfall, and I predict right, no superpower here. And he's most likely banded, and he can't 2-hit KO me here because of leftovers, so he's got to switch back out. He switches into Conkeldurr, and I get a free, I guess I went for Protect. Maybe I wasn't sure if he was Choice Band or not, but it's pretty clear that he was in retrospect. And the Mach Punch doesn't take me out. Ferrothorn is so bulky. I probably should have Leech Seeded the switch, but at least now I know that with Leech Seed and Protect, he won't be able to take me out with the Mach Punch next turn, so I can keep my Ferrothorn alive for a little bit longer. And he's actually going to withdraw. Maybe he don't want to stay in there. He could Drain Punch and win that battle at some point, but he just wants to, he needs to keep his Conkeldurr healthy. So he sends out his Thunders, taunts Michael Fable, which I was expecting actually something to hit me hard, because I remember last time we fought a Thundurus, he did not end well. So I went straight for the Moon Blast, and he's Life Orb, and he's just taken out in 2 turns due to Stealth Rocks. So that was nice. Michael Fable's sitting at a good half health. I can switch that into Cresselia anytime and heal that up. Now he predicts the switch into Ferrothorn. It was a good prediction by him, but he's very weak, and he will lose to my Talonflame at any time now, who I do send in, and go straight for the Brave Bird, I believe, because nothing on his team will like that. Not even this Heatran's going to like a Brave Bird. Plus, he's a Heatran on a Balloon, which is great to see another Balloon user, but because of that, I get to pop it. He can go straight for the U-turn, because he's obviously not Scarfed, he's not faster than me, so take a little bit more damage, and I'm going to... I believe I wanted here to sack my Metagross so I could switch into my own Heatran just to see what he'd do. But he went for Stealth Rock, so instead I get to keep my Metagross alive a little longer and go for a crit Meteor Mash. 73%. It probably mattered unless Cresselia was like really specially defensive. But either way, I'm still tanking enough that his Azumarill will not kill him with Aqua Jet, and I take it out. He has 4% left. He's got to send out his Conkeldurr to go for a Mach Punch, which I will gladly sack. I guess I won't sack my Metagross yet, but I went to my Starmie. Probably just maybe want to keep him around for the Venusaur. Either way, it was looking pretty good, so I wasn't bothered by that fact. So Mach Punch does 27%. I Rapid Spin away the rocks. I probably just want to get my Talonflame to have... Okay, so this will knock off and kill me. Now my Talonflame can sweep his team, minus Heatran. But, if he's switching in that Heatran over and over again, he's going to be worn down. So, as you can see here, it might even be a 2-hit KO after this first Brave Bird, which it is because of the crit. Oh my gosh, that crit mattered a lot to the overall health of his Pokemon. But the rest of his team's going to go down nice and easy. Talonflame will sweep the Venusaur and sweep the Conkeldurr. He's going to send Conkeldurr in first because it can't do anything afterwards. He needs his Mega Venusaur to be as healthy as possible. So, assuming he doesn't have anything to hit me with, I can even get a 2-hit KO if this doesn't kill. So as you can see, it doesn't. So it was smart of him to keep his Mega Venusaur alive. And he goes for the Sludge Bomb. Nothing else. He had to go for Sludge Bomb there. But that allows me to switch to my Mega Metagross and outspeed him for an Ice Punch. So it was a good thing that I saved Metagross, even though Heatran would have done the job as well. And I win my second battle in the tournament. So I was in the round of 16, but unfortunately I had to do something at this time, so I had to forfeit that tournament. It was looking real nice too. So to make it up to you guys, I entered a third tournament later that day, I think. Or very recently after with the same team. To try and see if I can win it all. And we go up against... Hold on, who's the last guy I was facing? So make sure. Alright, so I go up against, in my first opponent, Dank Greninja 215. And he starts off Mamoswine, a Mega Venusaur, Landorus Therian, Latios, Keldeo, and Heatran. So he has a very solid, bulky core on his team. Like, this team is pretty defensively strong. Like, none of his Pokemon are frail. A couple of them have weaknesses, obviously. 4 of his Pokemon, I think, are weak to ice, or at least neutral to ice. I can't remember if... No, because Mega Venusaur is weak, but then the thick fat. And Mamoswine doesn't like taking too many attacks, but physically he's pretty defensive. So I do like his team, however, he has nothing to stop a Dragon type of his own. I don't actually carry a Dragon type on this team, as you noticed. But I do carry a Fairy. But it's looking like it's going to be a tough fight. And I know he's going to want to send his Mamoswine in first to either get rocks up. And I figured I can send in my Talonflame and either U-turn against any of his other Pokemon or kind of... And this Mamoswine, I figured at the very least make him switch into... make him have to set up Stealth Rocks, but then he double switches into his Heatran. Probably expecting me to hit him with Flare Blitz, which I don't, because I'm not risking that first turn. I want to keep my Talonflame alive. So then I switch into my own Heatran. He actually has rocks on his Heatran, but because of the balloon, he has to switch out, and I'll go for an Earth Power to take out take a good chunk out of his Keldeo. But that forces me to switch out immediately, and his Secret Sword does 20% to my favor, which means it must be a little more defensive. But I'll be happy to deal with that, because now my Clefable will Moonblast, and he switches into Venusaur. So it's very good switching from both of us so far. I'm going to slow this down a little bit, just so I can talk a bit more. But Mega Venusaur has a lot of trouble with Ferrothorn if it's not carrying HP Fire, and I'm going to predict that even with HP Fire, it won't be able to one-hit KO me. And he probably isn't carrying it, as you can see. He switches right into his Heatran, and I get free rocks on my side now, so I'm going to now get some switching damage. And he goes and double switches, expecting me to switch into my own Heatran, and I'm just going to go for the Protect, because I'm expecting... I don't know what I'm expecting, but I just know that that's a safe move. So he's going back into his Heatran. This guy, I knew he couldn't get me with the Secret Sword. It would do a lot, but I'd be able to kind of stall him for a bit. So I'm playing a little bit of shenanigans. Now he's got to make a guess if I'm going to go for Protect or switch to my Heatran. Either way, he's got to keep his Heatran in there for probably a turn, or I'm just going to, he's just hurting himself with my Stealth Rock there. I go into my Starmie. I figure it's the safest prediction if he's going to double switch out into his Keldeo or stay in his Heatran, because I can take a Lava Plume pretty well. This Starmie is specially defensive. Sorry, not special defensive, but it does have a good special bulk. Now he goes into his Latios, and I'm going to go for Rapid Spin to get the rocks off my side. Talonflame is going to have a much easier time without him. And at this point, I switch out and into my Clefable, which will counter every Latios you ever find. And he's going to go for Defog. So now we're back to a little bit of a neutral state. But he's got to withdraw. And he goes into his Heatran. I'm Calm Minding on the switch just to see what he would switch into. Heatran doesn't scare me as much unless he's carrying Flash Cannon, which I believe he does with Stealth Rock first. That'll be enough. But no, he's super special defensive, so I still won't be able to do much. But that special attack drop is going to help me tank a lot. So he's going to switch out because he doesn't want that there. And I go for another Calm Mind, so I'm at ×2 for each. And his Mamoswine comes in probably, could be Bandit. No, it's Life Orb. But it's a pretty strong Pokemon at Life Orb, but it does not have the special bulk to take a ×2 Moonblast. So because of that, I managed to take out a pretty strong ground type on his team. However, Landorus might be able to take me out, and I'm worried about that, so I need to keep my Clefable alive for Latios. So I switch back into my Ferrothorn, who can take an Earthquake pretty well. And I'm going to go for a Leech Seed on the switch, I believe. I do hit. Heatran's going to be sucked away a little bit now. And my Ferrothorn's basically at full health. I can Protect here, but I want to go into my Heatran. I'm predicting a Lava Plume. He's probably getting a little bit annoyed that my Ferrothorn's staying alive. And I do predict this correctly, and now I have Flash Fire boosted, Leech Seed, everything's going my way right now. Everything's turning up, Super Yoshi Bros. I'm going to go for the Lava Plume. Oh, wow, I actually went for a Dark Pulse. Probably a misclick, or, as you can see, Keldeo now got an attack boost, not that it ever really needs it. I guess I might have been switching to Latios. I might have misclicked that. I probably meant to go for a Lava Plume. But I switched my Clefable to this Keldeo, and he's just going to take care of me and gain some leftovers, and it's not looking good. But I had to sack something at this point. Nothing wanted to take Keldeo. So I probably have to switch in my Starmie and go for a Thunderbolt here or a Rapid Spin. He's going to withdraw. Good move on his part. Send his Venusaur. I'm going to rapid spin out these rocks, as I will need my guys to take as little damage possible from residual damage. And in comes my Venusaur to wall out this Ferrothorn to wall out this Venusaur. And he's smart, and he takes his Heatran. This guy's playing a very good battle so far. And now we're back at this kind of weird, like, Heatran should be able to counter Ferrothorn kind of thing, but because my core is Heatran and Ferrothorn, it's and Heatran on a balloon specifically, he really has to pop this balloon at some point, and he's not doing it. So I go for another Earth Power. His Keldeo now is at 41%, which makes it, yep, see, I told him it's a good map so far, which makes it easily killed by my Starmie, and nope, just kidding, he's a rest. But he doesn't have a Chesto Berry, since he's running leftovers, so that actually helps a lot unless he's like a Sleep Talk Scald set, which I haven't heard of before. But I go for the Scald expecting the switch, and I'm hoping to burn something on the switching. But Venusaur sadly does not get burned, and I have to go back into my Ferrothorn, as he uses Giga Drain and clearly isn't going to get much off that. But I really can't do much on this Venusaur either, and he probably didn't know that, and that's why he keeps switching out, because his Heatran clearly walls it better. But that's why I keep going for Stealth Rope, because I can't hit it with the Leech Seed. So if it did come down to Venusaur and Ferrothorn at the end, I would probably lose the Stall Fest. But once again, I read the Lava Plume coming in, and I get another Flash Fire boost. He should switch into his Landers. He really needs to at some point. I'm going to keep just, Earth Powering his Keldeo to death. Or Latios, just something to take the Levitate, but he probably, those Pokemon can't do much without the balloon still there, so keeping this balloon on Heatran is just so critical in this battle that, yep, he's a Sleep Talk set, so, Sleep Talk, Rest, Scald, and Secret Sword, it works pretty well, except against Storm, he's finding it does pretty well against it, as does Clefable at high health, but once again, I'm getting the rocks off my field, he keeps setting them up, and I keep spinning them away, so, I go to my Ferrothorn. This Ferrothorn takes every one of his team pretty much, except for that Heatran. Now his rocks are gone, not that they really matter much to his team. His Latios reveals Hidden Power Fire. That's big. I still go for Leech Seed though. Luckily I've been hitting my Leech Seeds this battle, and his Latios now is at half health, and he sends in Heatran. I think I just go for Protect, to, be safe. Leech Seed Protect is a good combo unless they have setup Pokemon, which he doesn't look like he has anyone that can set up anything. I sent in my Starmie this time. I'm expecting a Stealth Rock. He's been doing that a lot lately when he doesn't want to do my Heatran boost. So it was a good thing that I went in there, and he comes into his Venusaur. I'll Rapid Spin again. We're kind of trying to figure out which one of our cores is going to break first. He's got a very strong core, as do I. But until one of his breaks or one of mine break, we're stuck in this kind of who can predict right first kind of thing. So, but luckily, as long as I feel like my core will be the better core until he pops the balloon on my Heatran, because something on his Landorus has got to come in there at some point. But now he's actually going to sack his Keldeo to an Earth Power. He did not. He was waiting. Yep, that's exactly what he wanted. He wanted a Sleep Talk Scald, but because of this Keldeo out of the way, and then obviously his Landorus is going to come and be a bigger threat. But there's a lot of. I could have switched to my Talon if I needed to take it out, but now it's just Ferrothorn becomes a lot more scary, I guess you would say, because his Latios is weak. I still have my Heatran thing on his Heatran, but Leech Seed shenanigans are going to come into play a lot in these next couple of turns. And without a Keldeo there to kind of take a lot of hits and stuff, yeah, I've got a pretty free next couple of turns. So. He can intimidate me all he wants, but I'm keeping my Ferrothorn alive, and this was kind of an odd switch, and he did a very good double switch, and now my Heatran's gone, so that's pretty big. He's still got rocks up. I'm revealing my Mega Metagross at this point. I was going to go for a nice Ice Punch, which would take out everything but the Heatran, and even though he sends in his Heatran and does a wimpy 8%, I finally do get my Mega Pokemon up, so that's good for later. And he goes for a double switch into his Landers. I guess he's trying to he probably thinks my Mega is going to go for another move. But that's okay, because I will now get a Scald on his Landers, and look at how much that does, and it burns him. A very critical burn here. His Landers is dead. He's fastened, and it can't even kill me, so I'll just go for a recover, and with his biggest threat, in my opinion, gone, at least to take out my Metagross, I have a pretty good chance at taking out keeping Latios in check. He still can't do anything to my Ferrothorn. I really can't do anything back, so I've got to keep my Talonflame alive. But he just left. At this turn, it was a pretty even battle, in my opinion, and he forfeits on turn 55. You watched a big, back and forth stall fest for a while, but he didn't really need to forfeit. Maybe he had to go somewhere. But if I were playing out this battle in my head, I'd get my Starmie in and take out, I'd Rapid Spin, take out the Heatran if I could. He'd go back and forth with me, so it'd be a big Ferrothorn, Venusaur, Starmie, Heatran kind of back and forth. But if the rocks got out of there, my Talonflame would come in. His Latios is pretty much dead weight. And it would have been a good battle. But I hope you guys enjoyed that one. That was first round of the third tournament, so I had a very tough opponent. Now, the second opponent, on the other hand, a little bit different. Thomas hit 03s. Thomas hit 03, I guess. But this guy is running an all-psychic team. And I actually don't run a dark type on this team either, or a ghost type. So, he actually doesn't have that bad of a team versus mine, but this team is very odd. But there are some strong Pokemon you gotta look out for. Sigilyph, you all know Sigilyph runs its Cosmic Power shenanigans with its burning. Claydol gets the rocks up. Reuniclus, that thing has swept me before on many teams because it's very tanky, but it's been getting worse each generation. The power creep's coming up a little bit on it with the Mega Pokemon. What I would assume is a Mega Gardevoir or a Mega Gallade. I think he actually has a Mega Gallade, but I'm assuming he had a Mega Gardevoir. And then he has a Meowstic F. And I was a little confused by that, but it might have Prankster. I can't remember what this thing runs, but basically, my Ferrothorn loves to just wall out Psychic types, so he brings in his Claydol, goes to rocks. I'll bring out my Ferrothorn and go for Leech Seed. And it's as simple as that. We start this battle with he Rapid Spins away the Leech Seeds. But immediately, because of the Iron Barbs, I am going to have a much easier time than he will. 1%, and then he'll take 12% each time. So he can Rapid Spin all he wants, but eventually he's going to die. So he's got to do something else. So he brings out his Sigilyph, and I'll go for Stealth Rocks. And I know that this guy's going to immediately start setting up. So I go into my Heatran, who I didn't think he'd have a Heat Wave, but I thought maybe he would start setting up and then, Psycho Shift shenanigans right off the bat. If he set up too much, I'd be in trouble. So in the end, turns out he had Heat Wave on the thing. That was his move. So now my Heatran walls it out completely. Or so it should, if that's his only attacking move. With the Flash Fire boost, I go for Lava Plume, get a huge crit on his Reuniclus, and one hit KO it. Just very, very important. I don't know if it mattered, but I'm going to take a guess and say it did, because that thing is pretty bulky. Turns out he goes into his Gallade, which is Mega, and that thing is very strong, but close combat, only 35%. My Clefable showing it has a lot of toughness in it, and I will go right for the soft boiled, expecting a switch, but hey, he wants to hit me with a nice punch. I'm at full health, and I'm able to hit anything on the way in. So I'm going to go for Moonblast too, I think. And his Claydol's going to take 29%. Lose a bit of special attack, but because he's running leftovers, I don't get the 2-hit KO. I'm switching out back into my Starmie at this point. Ooh, okay. Scald's going to scare it out, but I guess I also wanted to get rocks off the field, so, it's a win-win. He does sack his Claydol, oddly enough. I guess he figured the job is done. He could have switched into any of his Pokemon, and it would have threatened my style. Maybe he just wanted to keep him high at health. So I send my Clefable. Anytime he's going to send this Gallade, I'm going to send him my Clefable. Because even with knocking off my leftovers, his fourth coverage, he's a Sword Dancer, but his coverage moves, they can't hit me hard, and I'm going to 2-hit KO him with Moonblast every time. So that's a nice trade. I would take it every single time. And my Clefable's still alive to wall out his Sigilyph, because I don't care about the burn. And we'll have a little Calm Mind War or something. But then his Meowstic shows that it has Signal Beam, actually gets the confusion, and I luckily still land the soft play, so now my Clefable's much healthier. It's 3-6. He goes for Psychic, and he's a Life Orb set, so It's fine. I mean, it's not a good Pokemon, but hey, you know, if you want to run your favorites, go for it. I set up rocks again. I wanted to get rocks in before this thing came in, but I didn't. So I send him my Heatran, which I assume walls this thing forever. And he goes for Heat Wave, and I get another Flash Fire boost. So at this point, he forfeits. He knows. I mean, maybe his Gardevoir could have done something to fight me, but it's all over, and there wasn't much he could have done to save this battle, especially at 3-6. And he's not gonna. He's gonna go get some other battles, I guess. But it was a good team. I like facing mono teams. Some of my favorites to fight, and some of my favorites to make too. Like a gym leader team. So that was the second round battle of the third tournament that I was ever in. I wanted to show you guys the third round, the round of 16, but my opponent actually never showed up, so I got a free move on into quarterfinals where I faced in the past Z28 Adster, and he has an interesting team. First of all, he has a Manaphy, and Manaphy is godlike in this metagame. It's still an OU. I think it should stay there, but, that's my opinion. It's not super centralizing at all. And it's not, it's a good Pokemon, I think it should say, but I worry about that every time it's on the field. Luckily, if I keep Ferrothorn healthy, it should be able to take it. But then he also has a Garchomp, which is usually they run their Rocky Helmet, Rough Skin combination. So, gotta watch out for that when I'm running my Talonflame around trying to kill everything. He has a Scissor, which is his Mega, most likely. Mega Scissor, I don't really know what it does best, but it's powerful attack, so you gotta watch out for it. And he has a Seismitoad, probably just to take electric types aimed at Manaphy and Togekiss, and not have to worry about ice attacks, so the Bolt Beam core, that would take out Garchomp as well. It's a good Pokemon, it can set up rocks too. Then he has Togekiss, and oh my gosh, this thing is now a Fairy type, so it's 100 times better. In my opinion, because now it can roll out dragons and still be annoying as ever. But I love it. It's so cute looking. And then he has the Wall Breaker for the Century, Kyurem Black. So I don't really know what I'm expecting, but obviously there's no fire types on his team, so I go and start off with my Ferrothorn. Sorry, I just had to get up for a sec. And I figure that's what I want to do with this battle. So let's start it off and show you guys how it went. And he immediately reveals his Fire Blast, KOs me, and I die. And I'm Virus is rooting for me the whole time, and I'm just like, well, that's not good. So now I'm down my best Wall Breaker to his team, and I just go right into my Heatran. He might have been Specs Togekiss. I don't know if that's a thing, really, but either way, if he was, he switched out when he saw my Heatran, and I didn't get a burn on his Seismitoad, so now I go into my Starmie, and his Seismitoad actually, and this is very forgetful of me, I'm very silly, it knows Water Absorb, so it immediately can completely wall my Starmie out. And already this battle's looking like it's not going to go well at all. And, I mean, you learn a little bit. You're out for a while, you come back into the scene. With my Grass type gone and my Starmie Toxic, he's going to get rocks up. And so at this point I figure, well, his Seismitoad probably can't hit my Clefable too hard. But if I want to win this match, I got to go for Calm Minds. However, I do actually, I don't know what, I went for a Moonblast and got a crit. But then he missed his Air Slash, which is a really small chance. But I figured this will be the time I set up. If anything, I have to do something risky. And maybe I thought he had Hustle, but I remember that I had 95 accuracy in the chat. Luckily, I hit a Moonblast, and then his special attack goes down, which is so big. Because now his Manaphy is 3-hit KO'd, and probably can't 2-hit KO me back, assuming even then the crit. See, if he had 2.5 times, that crit would have taken me out. So I do get to take out his Manaphy, but, I mean, now I'm so weak that he can revenge kill me with anything he wants, sadly. So his Garchomp comes in, and I didn't want to have to sack my Clefable, but I did. Turn Earthquake. So I take my Metagross out, and I'm going to go for an Ice Punch here. But he's faster, so he must be Scarfed or something. And every single move I'm making is just so wrong in this battle. His team clearly just outplayed me. And the crit, I think, mattered too, because Mega Metagross is like 380-something defense. But, sometimes it just happens. I got very lucky in Pokemon battles, and, hacks is hacks. Just, you gotta let it, that's the point of Pokemon, you never really know. But, he turns out to have Fusion Bolt on his Pure and Black. I sent my Heat Train. It's the only thing that would threaten him out. And I go for another Lava Plume because I gotta get the Seismitoad burn if he comes in. It's a crit. Not that it mattered. But I don't get the burn, and now it's like, well, my entire team comes in. But I predict this very, very funny Earthquake coming in. I'm like, put my prediction pants on and send my Talonflame in to either die or go for a Brave Bird. And he's such a bulky, physical Pokemon. If you don't have a super effective move, you're dead. So I try my best to take out the Seismitoad, but my Starmie can't hit him, and my Heatran has Earth Power. So, I mean, it didn't kill him. So, unfortunately, I get Earthquaked because my balloon was popped. And I'm going to get 5-0'd here unless my Starmie gets a critical hit on the Rapid Spin. That's what I figured. And then I do actually get a critical hit on the Rapid Spin, and it did 3.6%. So that was the game. I got destroyed. This guy was he had a very good team. I kind of figured the weakness of my team actually was a water ground type. I was thinking about it earlier, like if a Mega Swampert came in, it would destroy me. For the most part, I have a Ferrothorn, but if it starts setting up too much, he'll be taken out too. And as you guys can see, Seismitoad, maybe not too bad and overused. Maybe use that a little bit. People do like to use Quagsire because it has Unaware. I actually had a match where some guy was using a Ditto. And I haven't seen too many Dittos anymore. I wonder why. I always thought they were like the ultimate counter to set up Pokemon, but, maybe I'll start carrying one. I'll start doing a little more gimmicky teams. But, yeah, that was, this match kicked me out of the tournament. So I came in top 8, but that's a shame. We'll win one these days. But, yeah, very good batch to Z23 Adster. Congratulations. I hope to face him again sometime because the overused room, you get to see a lot of people over and over again sometimes, but it's also the most popular, so at the same time, you really don't. Yeah, that's all I have today for battles. You get to see 2 tournaments that I was in. You get to see my first team, understand it a little bit more. And I think, let me just, I'll check after. But there's a lot more battles still, so I hope you guys stick around. Please leave a comment below if you'd like to see certain Pokemon, or if you'd like to, what you think about this gameplay so far in series, and what. Leave a like and subscribe if you guys do if you do enjoy this. I always appreciate that. And want to be part of the Third Chair family. We got a lot going on soon with Christmas. When it, finally the holiday season, passes, there'll be a lot more free time. Yeah, but as always, thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you next time on Third Chair.